My sister, Lila, apologized for leaving my high-end car with the keys inside, resulting in its theft, after I declined to fund an $18,000 wedding ceremony. My mother, Clara, chimed in, "You're not struggling financially, you can replace it." I stayed calm. That evening, I adjusted the permissions on our family accounts, limiting her access to shared credit cards. The next morning at 7:59 a.m., she received an unexpected notification. "I'm Ethan, 30, the eldest sibling, the family's go-to fixer, the one who knows where the extra keys are and which bill is due on the 10th or the 25th. I work in logistics operations at a mid-sized firm, and on the side, manage the books for my parents' small hardware store because you're sharp with numbers, son." My home is a modest one-bedroom apartment with a used sofa, a reliable rice cooker, and a whiteboard on the fridge where I track debts, credits, and things I'm done doing for free. In our family, roles were set early. Lila is the emotional one, the cherished one, whose feelings are treated like fragile treasure to be guarded at all costs. My mother, Clara, describes it like a medical condition. Lila feels deeply. My father, Martin, says it with a weary breath. "Your sister doesn't handle pressure well." And me? I'm the self-sufficient one, a label that sounds like a compliment until you see it used as leverage to pull you into every mess. We grew up above the store, surrounded by the scent of metal and packing tape, with a bell that chimed whenever the door swung open. I learned early that stock counts don't deceive. You either have 20 packs of bolts or you don't. Numbers are truthful. Feelings, though, in our house, they decide who gets the last piece of pie and who foots the bill. On a Thursday, everything changed. I got a text from Lila. "Can you stop by? Mom wants to discuss wedding costs." I just finished a 10-hour shift, but I went anyway. Habit. At the table, there was herbal tea for Lila, dark coffee for Mom, and a notepad for me. Dad lingered but didn't sit. Lila handed me a binder. Flowers, venue, photographer, a live violin group, a decorative arch that looked pricier than a used truck. My role, it seemed, was to nod and say, "Sure, I'll pay," as I had for countless temporary expenses. Lila cleared her throat. "It's not the whole wedding, just the ceremony package. $18,000. The reception is handled." $18,000, I repeated, jotting it down though I didn't need to. "Why me?" Mom answered. "Because you're doing fine, you have savings, and Lila's had a tough year. We want it special." "I'll give a gift," I said, "but I'm not covering the package." Lila blinked rapidly, then slower. She looked at Mom. Mom looked at Dad. Dad looked at the ground. "So you're refusing?" Lila asked. "I'm saying no," she forced a pained smile. "Okay." Dinner was silent, heavy. I washed my plate and said I had an early morning. Outside, my car, my one splurge, a 6-year-old luxury sedan I'd saved for over years, had a streak of dirt on the rear tire that wasn't there earlier. The door handle was sticky with something sugary. I wiped it off with a tissue from the glove box and thought little of it. The next evening, I was at the store dropping off a box of printer ink. Lila was there, lounging at the counter like a cat in sunlight. She snapped a photo of me with her phone and giggled at the screen. "Hey," I said. "Hey," she mimicked, twirling Dad's keychain. "Oh, funny story about keys." "What story?" "I borrowed your car at lunch to grab wedding favors from the mall. The van smelled like chemicals. Your car smells like pine. Anyway, I left the keys inside, stepped away for a minute. It's gone now." She shrugged. For a moment, the room buzzed like a hollow shell. I heard the hum of the cooler, a distant siren, my pulse in my ears. "You took my car," I said, testing the words. She tilted her head. "You weren't using it." Mom appeared, holding a wine glass. "Ethan, don't overreact. You can afford another." I looked at my sister, then my mother, then the store's bell, which rang every time someone left with something they'd paid for. "Okay," I said, the word solid as a stone. I placed it down. "Noted." I didn't shout. I didn't rush to the mall or call the cops in front of them. I nodded, stacked a fresh box of paper on the counter, and left. The shot had been fired, but I didn't react as they expected. This didn't begin with the car. It started when we were 6 and 8. If Lila got a B+, we celebrated with ice cream. If I got an A, Dad asked, "Why not an A+?" If Lila forgot her lunch, the store closed so Mom could deliver it. If I forgot mine, Mom said, "Figure it out, borrow from the cash drawer." Rolls sink deep. At 13, I started sweeping the store for $5 an hour. At 14, I learned to balance the register because you're good with numbers, son. At 15, I realized good with numbers meant work for free. I adjusted stock, stayed late, helped Dad draft emails to vendors he owed, made lists, budgets, and miracles from slim profits. When Lila turned 16, she got a used convertible for her confidence. with a license plate frame reading Queen. I got a "you're old enough to work nights" talk. When she dented her car hitting a pole, Mom cried, "This is why she's so fragile. The world's tough on her." When I cracked my phone screen, Mom said, "Pay for it yourself." I did. College followed the same pattern, just with bigger stakes. I worked in the university mailroom, then a print shop, then as a night dispatcher. I managed the store's books remotely, setting up a digital system Dad called sorcery. Lila switched majors 3 times, each with fees Mom called investments in her joy. I lent money once, then again. Then loans became gifts because the fragile one doesn't owe, she deserves. After graduating, I moved back, took the logistics job, 46 hours on paper, 60 in reality. It paid enough for a decent place and savings. The store struggled, margins shrank. Dad resisted technology, still writing checks by hand. Mom negotiated with a hand on your arm, and we've been loyal customers. Vendors stopped accepting charm as payment. "Help your father," Mom said, and I did. I moved them to accounting software, set up backups, built a dashboard, bills, income, taxes owed. Numbers don't care about family ties. They said pay or face penalties. My 20s were marked by bills and milestones. I covered a $312 late fee for the store's tax return. I paid $1180 for a shipment of screws when Dad's card was declined. I covered Lila's rent just this month for $950 because you're the only one I trust. I fixed my car's battery and drove her to a job interview at a fancy gym 40 minutes away because her confidence car had issues. The $950 never came back. I saw her post on social media from a rooftop bar, attracting prosperity. When Lila met Jake, a bartender with a strong jaw and a loose grip on steady work, she told me first. "He gets me," she said. "He says I deserve an easy life." I nodded. Everyone deserves ease. Someone just has to crunch the numbers to make it happen. The wedding talk started small, a vision board, a someday plan. Then my parents saw it as a fix for everything. "This will ground Lila," Mom said. "It'll show her life can work out." The budget landed on me naturally. At the first planning meeting, I tried neutrality. "What can you pay for without help?" Lila looked at Jake. He looked at his drink. Mom said, "Don't be so cold. This is about love." Dad added, "What's wrong with a little family support?" "The problem," I said, "is you'll make promises I'm expected to keep." They laughed. I wasn't joking. I said a line. "I'll give a gift, a good one for my budget. I'm not funding specific costs." "Costs?" Mom said, like I'd insulted her. "Flowers, arch, music, whatever," I said. "Choose what you can afford." "I'm not bankrolling a vision." Lila pouted. "It's one day." One day with bills. She texted me later, a link to an $18,000 ceremony package. "This is perfect," she wrote. "It has a violin group and a planner so I don't stress." The fine print said, "Non-refundable deposit." I stared at my budget spreadsheet, my emergency fund, the thin line that meant I could survive a car repair. I replied, "No, I'm not paying." She didn't answer for a day. Then, "I'm disappointed in you." Mom called. "Lila's devastated. You could do something big for her." "I've done plenty of big things." "You're self-sufficient," she said like it was a blank check. "You'll recover." "I'm self-sufficient," I said, "so I decide what I do with my money." She went quiet, then said, "We'll talk at dinner." We talked. I said no. They stared like I'd shattered a glass. The next day, Lila took my car and said it was stolen because she left the keys inside for a minute. It was a violation, yes, but also a signal. If you won't give when we ask, we'll take and call it a mistake. I drove the store's van home, reeking of bleach and paper. On the passenger seat, I placed a yellow notepad and wrote 4 lines. "I'm not your emergency fund. I'm not your safety net. I'm not your scapegoat when life gets tough. I'm your brother, not your ATM." I realized I'd been turning that key for years without locking the door. The big moment wasn't cinematic. It was a Saturday dinner, same as always. Mom's baked chicken, Dad's tailies of the old days, Lila's delicate smile, Jake scrolling his phone under the table. I brought a salad and a folder. I held the folder back at first spark. Dad said, "Any news on the car, son?" Like it was casual. "Insurance is handling it," I said. I'd filed the claim, activated the tracker, which pinged near a highway exit before going dead. The police took my report and said, "We'll call if it turns up." I'd already let it go in my mind, along with the part of me that thought my family would own their actions. Second spark. Mom said, "Let's focus on happy things." Lila found the perfect arch. She showed a picture, white frame, flowing fabric, greenery. "Isn't it beautiful?" "It is," I said. "I'm not paying for it." Jake snorted. Lila stared at her plate. I opened the folder and slid out a single sheet titled Ethan's Limits. Mom laughed. Are we in counseling now? I am, I said. It's useful. You're serious, Dad said. Completely. I read aloud, not for theatrics, but because I know how my family processes. They argue feelings, they pause for lists. 1, I said. I won't pay for Lila's ceremony package. I'll give a gift I can afford. That's final. Ethan, Mom began. I raised a hand. 2, I won't lend money for late fees, impulse purchases, or emergencies from ignoring budgets. I'll help plan, not pay. Lila's voice was faint. This is embarrassing. It's clear, I said. 3, I won't allow my belongings to be used without permission, including my car. If it happens again, I call the police right here. Threats, Dad muttered. Limits, I corrected. 4, if I keep doing the store's books, we make it official. A contract, payment, not will owe you, not you're self-sufficient. A rate. Mom's face stiffened. Family doesn't bill family. Family doesn't take cars, I said, voice steady. 5, when I say no, it's no, not persuade me, not guilt me. No, Jake set down his phone. You've always been a bit stiff. And you've always been a bit jobless, I shot back, regretting it instantly. He winced. Lila glared. The room went still. Mom tried again, softer. You're hurting Lila, she's fragile. I nodded. She is, I'm not punishing her. I'm refusing to sacrifice myself to shield her from reality. This isn't vengeance, it's clarity. I let that settle. I'm closing the account you've treated as endless. Dad pushed back his chair. You sound like a lone officer. I sound like someone who pays his own way. He pointed at the folder. Rip it up. I won't, I said. But I'll leave if this turns nasty. Mom stood. Then leave. I took the folder and stood. Lila spoke fast, panicked. Ethan, wait, the car, I didn't mean it. I was upset you said no. I know, I said. That's the issue. You see my no as a challenge, not a line. Can't you help just this once? Mom said. For the ceremony, after everything. After everything, I said. I'm helping myself. I walked to the door. Dad called, where are you going? Home, I said, to sleep. Mom's final jab, you don't abandon family. I turned the knob. I'm not abandoning, I'm stepping away from being used. I didn't slam the door. I didn't drive, the van was blocked. I walked 3 blocks to a bus stop, sat on a chilly bench, and felt my pulse calm like a warm blanket. At home, I made rice and eggs, washed the pan, set an alarm. Then, as the one who built the store's digital system, I checked access. Family cards, cash accounts, vendor logins. Lila's name was on 2, it shouldn't be. Jake's was on 1, which made my teeth clench. I didn't lash out. I adjusted. I removed unauthorized users, reset 2-factor authentication to Dad's phone and mine, and logged every change in a spreadsheet titled Audit Trail. I closed my laptop, brushed my teeth, and slept like I'd finally locked a gate. At 7:59 a.m., Lila got a bank alert. You've been removed as an authorized user from account ending 1278. Then another. Declined, $6,000 at Blossom Events. Reason. Card restricted. A third from the venue via Jake. Payment failed. Your date will be released by noon without alternative payment. By 8:02, my phone buzzed. Lila, Mom, Dad, Lila again. I showered, made coffee, ignored the first 10 calls. On the 11th, I answered. Ethan, Mom said, no greeting. There's a mistake. No mistake, I said, stirring my coffee. You locked us out like thieves. I fixed access. Lila took the phone, voice wet and sharp. You embarrassed me. They sent a decline notice. Jake saw it. Good, I said. He should know the budget's real. You're sabotaging my wedding. I'm refusing to fund a dream, she gasped. I continued. You took something that wasn't yours and it's gone. That's not a prank. It's cause and effect. Silence, Mom again. What do we do? The venue says we lose the date. You pay with what you have, I said. Or pick a cheaper package, or move the date, or have a backyard wedding with a potluck. It's still a wedding because 2 people commit. That's harsh. It's real, Dad called later. Son, you can't just... I can, I said. I set it up. I've been doing this for years. Now we respect the system, or you find someone else. What about the store? I'll finish this quarter if we sign a contract. After that, hire a bookkeeper or pay me the agreed rate. A contract? He said, like it was bitter. Yes, by noon the calls tapered off. By 3 p.m. I got a text from Mia, the store's part-time clerk. FYI, 2 guys asked for you. Cops said they found a car matching your plates in a lot off Route 9. Towed to impound. I called. It was my car, ignition damaged, stereo missing, keys on the floor. The officer said, you're lucky, they usually gut them. I thanked him, went to the lot with paperwork. The fee stung. Seeing my car, mine asterisk, hurt more. But beneath the pain was a strange calm. It wasn't symbolic. It was fixable or not. The numbers would tell me. That night, I silenced my phone and walked the block in the chill. I counted steps, breaths, and added a whiteboard column. After. The next day, Dad called, voice quieter. "We'll sign," he said. "For the bookkeeping, bring what we need." "Tomorrow, 9 a.m. at the store," I said. "Mom's upset. She'll manage. And Lila, my gift stands, the amount I said, cash or check, nothing with my name on a contract I didn't sign," he sighed. "Okay." Hanging up, I felt hollow yet whole, wrung out but drying. Lila texted at 10:14 p.m. "We were kidding, come back." Then, "Please, I screwed up." I typed, deleted, retyped. "We'll talk tomorrow, noon, 30 minutes, coffee, neutral spot." She sent a thumbs up. Not an apology, but close. At noon, she arrived in a too-light sweater. We sat by a window, no baby voice, no fragile act. "I hate you a bit," she began, "for making me see." "I know, but I get it." She looked outside. "Jake said something ugly last night, that your money should come to me because we're family." Hearing it from him, it sounded wrong, like something I'd say. I let the silence work. "I can't afford $18,000, she said. I told Mom it was a must-have because she always makes must-haves happen. "What can you afford?" She scribbled on a napkin, $5,000, cutting the violin's arch and using fake flowers. "That's a ceremony," I said. She nodded. "I hate you less now." "I can live with that." We stayed longer. She finished her coffee. "I took your car to be spiteful," she admitted, voice thin. "I wanted you to feel something. I thought you'd cave like with Mom." "Yeah," I said. "It used to work on me too." We signed the bookkeeping contract on a Tuesday. 10 lines, scope, pay, deadlines, responsibilities. Dad's hand trembled. Mom said, "This is ridiculous," twice. I gave them a copy and kept one. No triumph, just clarity. The wedding shrank. No violins, no arch, a backyard ceremony at Aunt Jane's under a tree with string lights. Fake flowers that photographed well, a speaker and playlist. Jake tried a speech about family stepping up, but Mom's glare silenced him, a first. My gift was an envelope, for chairs and snacks. No debts. Lila hugged me briefly, no tears, another first. The car took time. Insurance covered some, I paid the rest. I fixed what I could, accepted what I couldn't. Somewhere I stopped seeing it as Lila's doing and saw it as what I'd allowed by not drawing a line. That shift matters. It keeps the bitterness at bay. At dinner a month later, Mom set a slice of cake before me, my name in wobbly icing. She cleared her throat. "I used to call Lila fragile as an excuse. I'm trying to stop." "Okay," I said. I didn't cheer or lecture about progress. I ate. It tasted like sugar and butter, not regret. That's how it should. Dad pulled me aside. "You saved the store," he said quietly. "You should be paid for every hour you work on it, even if you stop someday." He paused. "I shouldn't have treated the ceremony like it was your job." "It was our normal," I said. "Now it's not." Lila texts less now. When she does, it's "Can I ask you something?" Not "Fix this." Sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I send a link or step out of the chat entirely. I wrote a new whiteboard list, 6 bold lines. I won't cover crises that are budgets in disguise. I won't be guilted into gifts. I won't play along with pranks where I'm the target and the payer. I'll charge for my work. I'll say no and let it stand. I'll love you without doing your math. It looks easy. It's not. It's a daily choice. Some days the old script knocks. I hear "she's fragile," and my hand twitches toward my wallet. Then I see the whiteboard. I breathe. The takeaway isn't grand or etched in stone. It's this: family isn't a contract you blindly renew without limits. It's a bond where love has a backbone. My no isn't a blade, it's a wedge that keeps me from rooms I didn't choose. This wasn't payback, it was resolution. I shut doors that should have been locked. I ended the cycle where my self-reliance meant covering others' choices. I balanced a ledger that never added up. I'm Ethan, still the brother who knows where the spare keys are. I just keep mine in my pocket now. I'm still good with numbers. I'm better with boundaries. And if you want to know if a boundary holds, check the ledger in your heart. Mine's finally in the black.